This is Brandis Manuel, and this is day 3 of Mirror Work, Louise Hay's book, 21-Day Journey to Healing Your Life. So, on day 3, we talk about monitoring your self talk, which seems like a logical evolution because after you've been telling yourself that you love yourself, I love you, I love you, I love you, then you do become a lot more aware of the things that you say to yourself in your head or the things that you might like critique yourself on that actually aren't so loving or don't feel so loving. So, on day 3, she goes to say, and I'll read a little from the book, the best way to love yourself is to release all of the negative messages from your past and live in the present moment. And then she goes on to say that, like, when you were young, you might have gotten an idea that you were acceptable only if you did certain things. So acceptance and love were conditional, which is interesting because yesterday I talked about unconditional love. However, it bears remembering that others' approval was based on their ideas of what was worthwhile and had nothing to do with your actual self worth. So these early messages contribute to all the self-talk chatter that we have going on in our brains that we may not and usually aren't even aware of a lot. But it sets up the mental atmosphere for what how we operate in our everyday life and what we attract into our life. So if your life is unhappy, and this is from the book, or you are feeling unfulfilled, it's very easy to blame your parents or the almighty them or say it's all their fault. However, if you do that, you'll be stuck in your conditions. How many people do we know like that? Okay. But, your conditions and your problems and your frustrations will just continue to be the same because you're always blaming someone else. So words of blame will not bring you freedom. Your words have great power, so start listening closely to what you say. And at this point, she starts to talk about and hit on shoulds. The whole issue of I should be doing this. I should be further along in my life right now. I should have be married by now. I should have own a house. I should. So many people, and this is from the book, many people live their lives in shoulds. And should is a word that my ear is very attuned to, as if a bell goes off every time I hear it. I have heard many people say it a dozen times in a single paragraph. These same people wonder why their lives are so rigid or why they can't leave a situation. They want to have a lot of control over things that they can't control. That part really stuck out for me. They want to have a lot of control over things that they can't control. Hello, I'll be the first person to sign up for that church meeting. Um, I like to have control over my life because that's the only way it's going to work out, right? If I don't control it, it won't work out. Okay, I digress. So she says they are either busy making someone else wrong or making themselves wrong. And I'm always making myself wrong. Like, one thing about me, I'll own up to my crap. You know what I'm saying? I'll take responsibility for my ish because I feel like if you don't, that it's so unempowering to me. And I don't like to be unempowered because then I can't control stuff. So, I'll own up to it. I'll say, you know what? I didn't do this right or I didn't do that right. I'll own up to that. Or, I could have handled this better. And that's probably where I end up in the shoulding. I should have done this. I should have done that. I should have done this. I should have done that. And that kind of, it's really hard to be in a place of should all the time because it feels horrible because that means everything you did was wrong. So I'll go into the journal exercises for this week. The general affirmation, she says, let's affirm, I release all negative messages from the past. I live in the present moment. It's funny because when I said that out loud today, my 3-year-old was sitting down next to me and he looks at me. He's like, mm-hmm. I was like, you like that? He was like, I said, are you going to release all the negative, messages from the past and live in the present moment? He was like, no. No. And I was like, all right, well, that's your choice. You work on that when you get ready. So, anyhow, so the mirror exercise work was first you wanted to sit in front of the mirror and say, whatever I say to myself, I will say it with love. Whatever I say to myself, I will say it with love. And after you have that statement, you're going to think, what was a statement that you might have heard as a child that's stuck in your head? So she gives some examples of you're stupid, you're not good enough, or whatever comes to mind. And then you take the negative um, scripts that you have in your mind and you flip them around to a positive affirmation. So my negative script was, um, I'm not beautiful. I'm not talented enough. I'm not capable enough of doing whatever. I'm not good enough. I can't do that. You can't do that. Um, I switched it around to I'm beautiful. I'm talented. I'm more than capable, and I'm worthy and deserving of love. So that was the affirmation that I worked with for the day. I'm beautiful, I'm talented, I'm more than capable, I'm worthy and deserving of love. I'm beautiful, I'm talented, I'm more than capable, and I'm worthy and deserving of love. So I was saying this all day long, all day long, all day long, all day long. I said it so many times that I made up a song, and then me and my kids were singing the song. They're like, I'm beautiful, I'm talented, I'm more than capable, I'm worthy and deserving of love. I'm beautiful, I'm talented, I'm more than capable, I'm worthy and deserving of love. So watch for my single to be dropping on iTunes as soon as I get my garage band back up and running on my computer. Um, so basically, that was the affirmation every time you pass a mirror. You really want to go into it. If you're like me, make a song, sing it all day. And it's really cool to engage your family, especially your children, in this process. Let them see you saying these positive things. Encourage them to say the same things. Encourage them to have like a positive affirmation or a positive mantra throughout the day. In just these 3 days, I've really seen a difference in my kids, and they are loving mommy's mirror work. So that's a really cool bonus that I didn't expect to get out of this. But of course, alas, anything that I do for myself, the positive effects are just going to flourish onto my children. So mommy win, yay. So in the journal work, it asks, did you repeat a negative story today? And write down how many times you repeated it and how many people you told it to. And then it says, write down something positive that you can tell those people tomorrow to make up for being such a negative Nelly. It doesn't say negative Nelly. I just put that part in there myself. Um, I don't think I really repeated a negative story today. I really don't think I did. Uh, just didn't. I don't know. I just didn't. Now, I did have a challenging experience today. If I'll go a little bit into my personal story, my backstory, and kind of what led me here on this journey, or thrust me forth into this once again, is that I have two beautiful boys, and the relationship that I had with their father, it dissolved. Okay. And that was devastating for me. It was really, really hard. I grew up in a family with my mom and my dad and my brother and my sister. And I just always assumed that that's how I would do things because that's what I come from and that's what I know. So I fought really, really, really hard to maintain that, even when it wasn't probably like the healthiest situation for me. That was my ideal in my head, trying to control that. Like I had to make that happen. But when it fell apart, it was really, really devastating. And it made me question everything about myself. It made me question my ability to make good decisions in my life, my ability to have good insight, to have perspective on things. My self-esteem was kind of like in the gutter. It just felt like I was in like a billion broken pieces, and I had no idea how to put anything back together again because I didn't trust myself. I didn't trust myself because I felt like I should have chosen differently. I should have seen these signs before. I should have noticed when that wasn't right. I should have made a different decision. I shouldn't have gone to move over there across the country. I should have left earlier when I saw this situation wasn't going right. So, I mean, it was full of so many shoulds, and I was just shoulding all over the place. I just should it all over myself. But once again, that didn't help. That was just negativity, and it was bringing me down, and it wasn't helping me pull myself back together. So, we had a conversation today, and co parenting is tough. So, pray for a sister in your meditation and your Sunday prayer services. Pray for me, Brandis, to, to whoever you pray for. I accept blessings from all of the gods. So, I'm sleepy. Um, I just noticed that from this experience, I was able to move forth in a challenging conversation with integrity and love for myself, with integrity and love for my kid's dad, and to be able to say, you know what, we don't have to agree on everything, but what we not gonna do is talk to each other in ways that are mean or degrading to one another. And so I'll take that as a win, okay? Because I got that accomplished, and I when I got off the phone, everything wasn't perfect, but I felt like my sense of self and my sense of self-esteem was still intact. And that, you know what? I still bless them. Bless everybody. Bless them. Bless them, bless them, bless them, bless them. So, big props to doing the inner work and having it show up in the outer life. Then she says, write down the word should, and next to it, make a list of words to use instead. Okay, so one of the words is could. So instead of I should do this, or I should make a grocery list before I go to the store so I don't buy random things. All right, I could write a grocery list. So when I go to the grocery store, I'll know exactly what it is I'm trying to get. Another one I thought of was, it's not a word, but it's like a phrase, like, I'm excited now that. So instead of I should uh, do my Pilates 3 times a week because I know it makes my behind look fabulous. I could say, I'm excited now that I can do my Pilates 3 times a week because I know it's going to make my behind look fabulous. Um, and the other word that I kind of came up was I may. Like, instead of I should uh, do meal prep on Sundays and coast through the week, I could say, I may do a meal prep this Sunday, and then my meals are going to be all set for the week, and it's going to make life so much easier on me. Which is such a great, when instead of like should, it should feels like to me the energy of like pulling backwards, and to me like may and could, and so excited that it's more like a prophecy into the future of positivity. So I really just even like the feeling of it better. It's like, oh, you're infusing it with this positive energy before it happens. And so there's not so much weight about like, well, if you don't, you're wrong. It's like, well, you could do that. Yeah, that's a possibility. I get to choose. I may do that. All right, that's something I may do. I get to choose. So the heart thought for day 3 is I always have a choice. And just basically, she goes on to say that we all have these ideas in our head about who we should be and how life should be, and hold those ideas so rigidly, and that we should just remove the word should. We could. I'm so excited that I can remove the word should from my vocabulary, because should makes prisoners of us, is what she goes on to say, and it's in fact saying that you're not good enough. So, with that being said, the day 3 meditation. Day 3 meditation was about, once again, it's kind of like the theme of seeing yourself loved, seeing yourself being whole, seeing yourself being just a whole person, safe, secure, and then this love that fills up your heart, and then from your heart, it flows out into your home. It flows out all around you, and then that love that you've given out, it comes back to you multiplied and multiplied and multiplied. And like I said, that's always a good place to be in that spirit of love and warmth, um, because it just attracts more of that to yourself. And isn't that what we all need? Love, just a little bit more love. So, in a nutshell, that is day 3. Um, that's day 3. And I will see you tomorrow for day 4. Thanks for keeping up with me.